So I played in a charity golf tournament recently as the celebrity golfer. Yeah, you guys are already laughing. But my buddy Reno Collier, who's a very funny comedian, he opens for Larry the Cable Guy. He convinced me to do it. It was a great charity, and he's like, I need you to come out and be part of this. I'm like, Reno, I don't golf, nope, and I'm not a celebrity. He's like, it doesn't matter. We just need you out there. Now, to make matters worse, the celebrity in the group in front of us, Larry the Cable Guy, who I've never met, I'm a big fan of and always wanted to meet, and he's standing there very unassuming. He's got his hat and his glasses on, and I go over to talk to him, and he could not have been nicer. He acted like we were old friends. And as I tend to do with any celebrity comedian that I meet, I pretty quickly name drop Nate Bargatze, who I do a podcast with. And I was about to say, Nate says you're a great golfer. But before I could even say that, he said, man, I'd love to meet Nate sometime. And I was like, oh, you've never met him? He goes, no. I said, in fact, you should come on our podcast. He's like, yeah, that would be wonderful. I'd love to do that. So I give him Nate's number, and I'm thinking, this is so great because Nate's going to love, we're going to have Larry the Cable Guy on. So we're talking and we're chatting it up, and we're kind of in this conversation. I keep thinking about it. And I said, so you and Nate have never met? And he goes, no, never. And then somewhere along the way, I thought, you know what? I don't think this is Larry the Cable Guy. I think it may just be a fan who I've now given Nate's number. I've basically given him his address because we record the podcast at Nate's house. So finally, it's time for us to go tee off. So we go our separate ways. And I call Nate, and I was like, hey, do you know Larry the Cable Guy? He goes, very well. And I was like, oh, boy. Oh, boy, this is not good. And I tell him what happened, and Nate's like, you couldn't recognize one of the most recognizable faces in all of comedy? And I was like, apparently not. So the rest of the day, I just avoid him. I just avoid this guy out there. If he comes close to me, I just take off in my car because I can't make it worse. And it could still be Larry the Cable Guy who I'm avoiding. I don't know. But when we get done, I just get out of there. I skip the charity. Like, who cares? Beat it. And I got home, and later that night, I texted my buddy Reno Collier, and I was like, hey, who was the comedian in the group in front of us? And he said it was Cletus T. Judd, who is another comedian who's very funny, who treat me like we're old friends because we are. I've known him for years, and we are old friends. So the moral of the story is, I don't know if Larry the Cable Guy is a nice guy, but Cletus T. Judd could not be nicer. And apparently I'm so racist, I can't tell the difference between two white guys.